guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back, and if you are brand new, I am so excited that you decided to join me here. So today's build is actually a little unexpected. This is one that I pre-recorded weeks ago when Island Living came out, and it is an off-the-grid treehouse. So we will talk a little bit more about that, but I will explain as to what kind of happened. So I had two builds ready to go. One was a Tudor-style home, and one was a modern build in Oasis Springs. And when I was trying to make space on my computer recently, I deleted half of those video files. So those two planned builds for the channel are gone. I couldn't recover them. So I was a little bummed, and I knew that I really wanted to post something soon. And this was one that I was kind of sitting on because, to be honest, a lot of people have done tree houses. A lot of people are using the new off-the-grid lot trait. So there's a lot of footage out there that is very similar to this. And I really didn't want to just toss it out there as another off-the-grid and or treehouse build. And I wanted to do something else. I wanted to get out of Sulani a bit, but I did want to post this video at some point. So considering that there was kind of a gap in me posting, I didn't want to leave you guys hanging too much, and I really wanted to get something else out there. And I was really proud of this one too. So I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm totally bummed about the footage that I deleted for my other builds, but this was one that I was really proud of because I've always loved the ideas of tree houses in The Sims 4. So I think it was in The Sims 2 or 3. I can't remember. I think it was maybe 3. We actually had tree houses, but they were children's items, and they could go play up there. They would play make-believe and stuff like that. And they may have actually been in both The Sims 2 and 3. I can't really remember. So a lot of people have made, fake tree houses and stuff like that. And this is one of them. So obviously it's not a real tree house, but I did use just, a first level, raised it up, put a second level on top, deleted the first level. That's basically how I did this, because then the columns will go ahead and match the height of that first column. And as you can see, it's up pretty high because I used the tallest wall height. So that's pretty cool. It's a neat trick, and I prefer doing that over the stilt foundation that we got, even though I did use it for the stairs, because if you use the stilt foundation, you can't build or place anything underneath the structure. So you'll see I kind of pull out a lot of vegetation because I need to fill up the slot and make it kind of look more like a treehouse, like it's in the midst of a kind of a foresty area right underneath the volcano here in Sulani. So that was my reasoning for kind of using that trick compared to the stilt foundation. And the structure itself is really very simple. It's just a couple of squares plopped together. I wanted to make the staircase a little jagged. I didn't just want it to be a straight staircase up to a deck or anything like that. So I wanted to give it a little bit more character. And here I'm actually trying to create a quote-unquote pool. So I wanted to make it look more like a natural body of water, but of course we don't really have items like that. We do have a fishing pond in the debug menu, but it wasn't something that you can reshape to whatever lot you're on or whatever you're trying to kind of accomplish with it. So I did just kind of create a custom pool. I did that in my tropical honeymooner build, which was in Salvadorada. So that's the idea that I kind of wanted to repeat. So I do go ahead and just put a body of water here. I was going to place it below the structure, but I would have had to make numerous pool structures and they wouldn't have all connected, and I just didn't think it was going to look that great. So I kind of put it off to the side. Maybe it's just, I was trying to think that it was kind of a natural body of water that was right underneath the volcano. So that's what I did, and then I just cover up the rest of the lot with a bunch of vegetation, literally so much of it. So again, I use a lot of jungle adventure plants and a lot of the plants that we got with the Island Living expansion pack, and I just wanted to fill it up. I didn't make any distinct walkways or anything like that, though there end up being a lot of items outside too. And I actually wanted to add a pool ladder. That's what it is. I was thinking like a staircase, but a pool ladder because, I don't know. I just thought it was a fun element. And since this is an off-the-grid lot, as you guys probably know, none of the lights will work. So if you use any lights that use electricity, they won't work. So if you use candles, they will work just fine. So I was kind of learning a little bit more about the off-the-grid lot trait as I was making this. So there may even be some things in this build that don't work with that off-the-grid lot trait. So for that, I do apologize because, like I said, it was something that I made a while ago at this point, and I was kind of just figuring it out then too. We've learned a lot more. Some of the items are a little bit glitchy too. So anyway, we're inside, and I really don't section anything off. This was my floor planning that I kept in because there really wasn't any. I basically used these two ends of the build for the kitchen and the bedroom, and in the middle is just kind of like a living space. That's pretty much it. And since you can't have a stove here because it will, I think it'll use electricity. There might be one stove that does work off the grid. I don't know, but I didn't add one when I did this build because I didn't think any of them would work, though I had heard that the sink there would work from laundry day. So I did play test it as well, so that does work. The options are kind of funny. It's like quickly wash hands because I'm assuming they're trying not to use a lot of the water that they have access to. I'm assuming if they collected rainwater and stuff like that, they're kind of working on a limited supply. So that was kind of cool. And then I tossed just a bunch of fish up here, and then I realized I wasn't even using the island living fish, so pulled out some of those, and I just put some decorations on the wall and on the countertops. And I'm thinking that the people that do live in this household, whether it's one sim or a couple or something like that, I feel like they do fish a lot. I feel like that's how they get a lot of their food, as well as the barbecue that I put outside. It's the garbage can one, if that's how you could say it. Yeah, I think it's the one from Jungle Adventure. And there I changed out the windows because I thought, wow, that's a beautiful place to let in a lot of natural light. And granted, it does make it a little modern. I was thinking that maybe, yeah, it's a treehouse, but it's not just an extraordinarily rustic treehouse. It's kind of a modernized treehouse. So I just said, hey, I think it's appropriate. We're just going to keep it there. And here I'm just creating the seating area. So I bring out this living room table, and I do take two of these rugs and kind of combine them together to create a little bit more of a rectangular rug rather than just the little individual ones. I thought that looked nice, and the pinkish or salmon color looked nice with the coral salmon color of the drapes and the chairs. I don't know, I wasn't going too matchy-matchy in this build. I was just trying to make it look cozy. And here I'm trying to find a bookcase, and I realized I just made that wall corner there, just one tile, so it was a little challenging at first, but I did choose to go ahead and kind of put it at an angle to fill it a little bit more. And you could see here too, I was placing tons of just candles around the build because, like I said, that's the only source of light. The lights that I put on the ceiling were just there for me to build. It was just so I could see the place lit up and just kind of work things out. So they do not stay, so don't worry about that. And yeah, the living space I thought was really cozy. I do add the bookshelf. I add a chest table at some point as well because I wanted there to be some skill building items without a TV or a stereo or anything. And actually off camera I add a guitar too. So there are at least a few things that your Sims can do here to kind of entertain themselves and up some skills. And here's the little bedroom. It's not really a separate room, so I won't call it a bedroom, but this is where the bed is. And again, I just put tons of candles here because I want there to be light and just some random decoration items. This build is not very cluttered whatsoever. When I was building it, I wasn't thinking of any particular Sims. I was just thinking that there was a single Sim or a couple that did live here and they just wanted to kind of live off the land a bit. And you'll see that individual candle that I placed on the left hand side there, it actually does not work. It will not work on this slot because when I went to play test it, that candle was not lit up. So FYI, that one doesn't work. So if you want a candle that works, just grab one of the ones that are already in this build and replace it. And there I toss out the chest table, just something fun for them to do, and I toss some more candles there. As you can see, I got rid of the overhead ones to see how all of the candlelight was going to look, and I really like how it turned out. It just looked very cozy. It is a rather small area, but I thought it was really nice. And here I'm adding one of those bushes that your Sims can use as a toilet because I didn't give them an actual toilet. And then this shower from Strangerville, I think it was. Yeah, the shower from Strangerville, that will work off the grid. And I came to the realization I didn't build a bathroom, but I figured, you know, they're off the grid. Maybe it's just outside. They just collect rainwater, dump it in there, and shower outside. So that was my thought process. And here's the barbecue that I was mentioning earlier with a picnic table. And I had to shuffle some vegetation over because I needed a little bit more space for this kind of dining area. I didn't really plan a lot of things outside when I was doing it, so as I was thinking of more things, I just had to shuffle things around. It's a small space, it may not be ideal, but I thought it worked for the sake of this build. And then we go off to kind of this back area that I didn't fill with vegetation, and I put some gardening pots there, kind of like near where the shower is. And then I pulled out one of the fishing signs because I wanted them to be able to fish out of the quote-unquote pool that I built. And let me tell you, it will look different if you download this build, because my sim could not access it for some reason. I had to shuffle around a lot of vegetation for him to be able to access it. And then I just add some extra decor items inside, and that's really it for the build. It was very simple, and I'd be really interested to kind of hear your guys' thoughts. I know that there are a lot out there like this, but this was a lot of fun, and I figured I'd share it after my deleting of files debacle. Hopefully tomorrow I have another build ready for you guys. So thank you guys so much, and I will catch you next time I post a video. Talk to you later. Bye!
To see from the moment we arrived. Cornelia, you are one who will survive. When time's been bad